Hey everyone, just real quick, I want to throw in there that I really hope if you enjoy things on this channel and they enjoy listening to us ramble as a bunch of aging um Gen X millennials, zennials, or whatever the whole term is, I don't really understand. But I would hope if you enjoy listening to us talk and you want to maybe get involved, you let us know. Send messages to the YouTube, send messages to the email, and most of all, like and share the channel. Just a little bit it goes a long way. So thank you so much for checking this out and being here. And I hope to keep doing this as long as you'll allow me to, or as long as I can keep doing it and, you know, enjoy this. Well, it's been 40 years. I think I'm going to continue enjoying this. So thanks for being here, everyone. I truly appreciate it and I truly mean it. Till next time. Hey everyone, welcome to More Than Meets These Guys. This podcast is a journey through Transformers from the beginning of the animated series with two old friends coming at it from different perspectives. Together, we will go episode by episode with the occasional extra to look at how the show holds up or if it is a trap of nostalgia. We'll be looking at all things involved in the episode, whether there are real world factors that crept into the writing or if the episode was typical afternoon cartoon fodder. I'm Evan. I'm a lifelong fan who's familiar with all aspects of the franchise, and Ed here was familiar with Transformers, but there's really nothing he got into when he was younger. So thanks for being here, everyone. Ed, how you doing, man?
Well, it's technically still winter,
Oh yeah.
but in the South, we don't get a real winter. We get false winter. But so where we are right now is we're in early spring. We're in the sneaking like dagger in the back of the early stages of spring, which means that the entire landscape is covered in pollen
Oh yeah.
and which is irritating my throat and my eyes, but also something that I keep forgetting. I work from home and or I do my day job from home. I do this
Yeah.
job from home too. But so I don't drive a whole lot. I don't really go many places, but I do a lot of walking. So I keep forgetting that my washer fluid is out in my car. I keep forgetting to fill it up. And but my windshield is just covered into layer after layer after layer of pollen.
Yeah.
And it was so bad the other day that I had to pull over and I had a bottle of water and I just dumped it all over the windshield and ran my wipers to clean this off because I couldn't, it was like a whole haze of yellow. I just couldn't see anything. It was pretty terrible. So
That's
yeah.
yeah,
How's
man.
the
We were
how's the pollen treating you? How's the
it,
southern snow
I
treating you?
my eyes feel like I haven't slept in days because they're just like I feel like they're bloodshot red from the stinging. But we went out and did a lot of planting Saturday morning, kind of redid our patio area where I usually would grill. The grill kind of fell apart because we once again are in the South and everything rusts because it's always humid.
You didn't get a
Um,
Weber, did you?
I did not. No.
We gotta get a Weber.
Okay, man. Look, until like maybe 10 years ago, you were not Mr. Weber guy.
Oh, well, I was a vegetarian. I didn't need a grill.
Before that, you were not always a vegetarian. Don't give me that. I know better. I
No,
also,
I got a Weber, and
yeah.
it was a life changer.
Yeah, I got like I got like a cheap like Weber knockoff. Like, I don't know, man, like 4 years ago, it finally rusted through. Dude, I
You
was
gotta,
using a thing in the burner covers, the triangular burner covers. Those things were falling off.
oh,
They
you
were
got a
like,
gas. You have a gas grill.
yeah. Well, I also have a green egg, but the green egg takes a while to get going. So, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Charcoal Weber guy.
Hey, man,
You are, dude, no, don't even say, look,
look,
I
man.
know better. I've known you long enough to know.
Propane is the GoBot of grilling. Okay.
My green egg is the Fort Max of grilling, but it's a pain in the neck to get going. Um,
Oh
Makes
man.
fantastic pizzas and make fantastic drunk chicken on there, but otherwise, yeah, man. I we went out there though Saturday morning. And we were like we did she okay. She saw a TikTok thing where you take those 3 gallon buckets from Walmart or Lowe's or whatever, the big plain ones,
5 gallon.
big, yeah, well, 5 gallon buckets. I'm sorry. I apologize for all you bucket enthusiasts out there, a bucketeer, if you will. Yeah, so we went and got like, you know, some, primer, and we got that cool like stone style texture paint, and it turns out that really sucks to put on plastic PVC. It doesn't stick at
Mhm.
all. The
Right.
primer was coming off. So I'm like, all
Mhm.
right, look, this apparently is not going to be, we're going to have these janky looking, the janky looking pots that we're going to
Mhm.
put our, we put like tomatoes and peas and we, did peppers and that sort of thing. Got a, oh God, it is, is it like, they're like grapes. I can't, okay. Anyways, the little black berries. I can't think of what they're called right now. I should know this. It's like a descriptor of wine. Anyways, yeah, we got those and we planted all those and then I replanted this orchid she got for me for last birthday and this really did this really cool thing with a terrarium for she got me things for Valentine's. So we have all these really cool plant things. And then we woke up this morning, it was like 31 degrees. I'm like, dude, what was happening? But you look at my shoes and there's like this the weird it almost looks like a topographic map of pollen on my brown shoes. It's like these weird waves, like it's like a hillside on a topographic map. It's crazy. But yeah, man, that's how it is here. And as I drove around Sunday, we I think we grumbled something something plant sex something something hate this several times. So yeah, that's how pollen's treating us right now. So yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Well, well, here's a question for you though. Speaking
Yeah.
of, we're talking about grilling animals on the grill, but how do you feel
Mm.
about funny animals?
Oh
Funny
yeah.
animal comics. Were you a fan of funny animal comics back in the day?
Yeah, man. Or of course, Heathcliff, Garfield.
Well, I mean, in addition to those guys, I mean, like, there was a wave of like serious, like quote unquote serious, like funny animal comics, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a
Oh
funny
yeah,
animal
yeah, yeah.
comic. It's a
Okay.
funny animal comic.
Yeah,
I mean,
anthropomorphic animal
yeah,
comics.
I mean, they called them funny
Usagi
animals. I mean,
Jimbo. Yeah.
in the comic scene back in the day, those were called funny animal comics.
Hmm.
So, did you like funny animal books? Like funny animals
Yeah, I
back in the day?
did. I mean, really, you could say there was a bit of that in the Tick, but TMNT, I liked it. Okay, I never got into it. It was like early, like the really gritty stuff, and it came on early. But I read some of the stuff later on that got put back out. Yeah, I know you were a fan of Usagi Yojimbo.
I was a fan of Usagi Yojimbo. I was a fan of my favorite out of these though was Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters, which was a
Oh,
complete
I don't.
knockoff of Ninja Turtles, but just it was a parody basically, where they were all named after action movie stars instead of uh yeah, artists. And so they were named like Jackie, Bruce, um Jackie, Bruce, Chuck, and Clint. And so they were all like martial arts guys, except for Clint, who just carried like a 44 revolver and it would just shoot guys. While the rest of them had like nunchucks and stuff. It was uh but it was like that and like Boris the Bear. But
Mhm.
but
There's
but like you
also
said, I was a big fan of the book Usagi Yojimbo, who is a samurai rabbit. If you speak any Japanese at all, you know that Usagi is the Japanese word for rabbit. Um but you might also remember that character because he crossed over into Ninja Turtles on
mhm.
the cartoon a few times. Um, but honestly, the comics are really good, and I'm not gonna lie. I think that even though that's like a funny, like an anthropomorphic, like animal title,
Yeah.
those are probably the easiest and best reading fiction ever about samurais. I'll take Lone Wolf and Cub to my grave. Like I love
Oh,
Lone Wolf
dude,
and
yeah, I
Cub.
love that book.
I'll take Seven Samurai to my grave and all that too.
Yeah.
But I think that those comics are the easiest to read and they're actually extremely accurate to the time period. They're very good. But here's where it gets weird is that and
Okay.
I don't know where or why this happened, but in the early 90s, Stan Sakai, the guy that wrote and drew Usagi Yojimbo, did a spinoff called Space Usagi, where
Hmm.
he took that character concept, a samurai rabbit, and put him in space. And his art style was really cool. Like I liked the art style, so I read that for a bit. It was just like, why am I? This is weird. Why am I reading this? But the thing is that they did, I didn't know this, at some point they did a movie version
Really?
of Space Usagi written by a dude named Michael Charles Hall, who also wrote this episode of the Transformers.
And who also wrote Cold Slither, which we
Cold
apparently
Slither.
like in this podcast because I love making videos with Cold Slither.
Why haven't we done Cold Slither as a subdivision yet?
We totally can. And
I think we should do that next week. I think that's actually the next place.
yeah, speaking of all that, I told you a little earlier. I'm not going to say everyone who I've approached, but got a hold of Michael Charles Hill, and he will. He said he will be doing an interview with us. He just had to get through TFCon, so uh,
Score.
you definitely should be part of that because you know your love of Usagi so in space, no less.
And yeah, and also Cole Slither. I'm a fan. I'm
Oh,
a
also
fan.
there,
I'm
yeah,
an enthusiast
yeah.
for Cole Slither. This guy also wrote some Jim and the Holograms, which
Yes,
I'm an on record fan of. But he also did. Here's kind of a hidden gem though. He also did the translation of an anime movie called Space Adventure Cobra. Uh,
really.
do you know
I
Cobra?
know Kuraba.
Yeah, Cobra
Kuraba.
was a pretty fun thing, but
Yeah.
it was a weird it was a thing that like I think they localized that in like 83, which was like
Mhm.
why would you do this at that point? That's because the only anime that existed at that point as far as the US was concerned was
Robotech.
Speed Racer. No, Robotech
No.
wasn't even out yet. Robotech was
Oh, you're
not
right.
out.
No, you're right. 83.
Robotech
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
still like 2 or 3 years away.
Was
It was Speed
oh
Racer,
you
Astro
had
Boy,
yeah.
and G-Force Battle of the Planets. Those were the only
Yeah.
anime that were really out
Yeah.
and at
Right.
that point. I think like Kemba and Transor Z was kind of a thing, but for the most part, there
Was
wasn't a
yeah.
whole lot of anime then.
Yeah.
And doing a whole movie, really, like, why would you do this? But do you remember why it became relevant again?
I don't actually know.
Because in 1991, Matthew Sweet put out Girlfriend,
I
and the
do remember
video
that.
for Girlfriend was just clips from Cobra.
Is that really where it's from?
Yeah. Yep.
I recognize the style. It's
Mhm.
the Yurusei Atsura style. And
That was from the second Matthew Sweet video
yeah.
from
Oh,
Girlfriend.
okay.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
the video for Girlfriend was just Cobra. It was this the second video. I can't remember the name of it, but it was
Yeah.
Lum. Was just clips
Yeah.
from Lum. Yeah. So yep, Matthew Sweet, old school weeb, I guess. So
Oh yeah, he seems like a pretty good guy though. But yeah, pretty much
I
old school.
I'm a fan of Matthew
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
me too. Me too.
So
I
yeah,
love Girlfriend.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, man. We could talk about things like this forever, but I think we should get right into it because I know Danny will be clocking us at 25 minutes talking before we get to Transformers. So this one's for you, Danny. But yeah, man. So the Gambler. This is actually also one of my favorite episodes. It's a continuation from Child's Play, kind of loosely, but still is.
eh, it leads directly into it,
Oh, it does. It
and
does.
see, and the
It's
thing
like
is,
my Autobots and Adventures in Space, like two-parter.
well, Well, see, and here's the thing though, is that it starts off with them flying in this rocket with no setup and no previously on Transformers or anything like that.
Mhm.
So, but the thing is, I was like, I wonder if the same animation studio did this as did Child's Play, and I wonder if they remembered enough to draw the rocket the same. So I loaded up previous episode and
Really,
checked the end of it, and it is the same. It is the same
very
rocket.
nice.
And I'm going to go on record and say that it's the same animation studio because of some
Likely.
terrible animation that we're going to
Yeah,
touch
likely.
just a bit.
Yeah, so I got a few facts to when we get to it on the as we go through the episode here, some kind of fun things. But yeah, it's the tour rocket. Apparently, they Inverted calls Perceptor Mr. Wizard, and he can't keep the rocket going. So it's like it's broken down in space, but there's like this ship that comes along, grabs with the claw, and pulls it in. We are introduced to Bosch, who is he's like a smuggler, piratey smuggler guy.
This dude looks like alternate universe Magneto.
He kind of does. He really does.
He looks like space pimp Magneto.
But
Um,
also, yeah, there's a thing with this also. The name Bosch. Okay, so it's kind of significant that he deals with smokescreen the entire episode because if you look on the front of the car that smokescreen is modeled directly after, there's Bosch and Bosch, like
spark
the
plugs.
well, yeah, spark plugs and
Yeah.
other entertainment things. But yeah, that's where the name came from. So weird
Oh,
little
okay.
thing there. Yeah,
Hmm.
I thought it was Bosh, and I was talking to Boo at the Excellent Underground, and he was it's like, oh, here, let me show you on the front fender of the car. It has
Yeah,
Bosch
it
on
should
it.
be BOSCA. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
which is yeah, yeah, they made racing spark plugs actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They make a lot of a lot of implements for cars like aftermarket things.
Mhm.
Was it Bosch's the slogan is we don't make things, we make them better. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, so yeah, they're into the ship and they're all directed out and they're immediately captured. and they're putting these tubes like from like this island Earth.
They get put in the glass tubes. We haven't
Yeah,
this is a sci-fi trope I haven't seen in a very long time. I don't see
love
people
it.
get
Yeah.
captured in glass tubes a whole lot. This is a very Twilight Zone thing
Oh yeah.
to have happen to you here, and I feel like it's kind of a scrub move to get captured in these things.
But they're standing there and they go it goes boom 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 covers them all,
Mhm.
and they get immobilized. And Bosch takes his victory lap. You're like, I've immobilized all your weapons. Yeah, nothing's gonna work anymore. So I'm going to basically give you a shock and subdue you. And apparently Bosch has such janky glass tubes that it doesn't work on the smoke screen.
Yeah, I didn't understand why it didn't work on smokescreen.
Yeah.
But this dude also is such like a gambling addict that he has a slot machine right there in his torture chamber.
Yeah.
Like this dude is like it's like Frank Booth from like Blue Velvet, how he's got to get carry the tank around with him so he
Oh
can
yeah, the
constantly
O2
like
tank.
hit the
Yeah,
nitrous.
the or nitrous. That's right. It's nitrous.
He's got to gamble at all places. He's got to have like a like yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he like takes a break monologuing and goes over there to like pull the lever, and he loses. He's like, I rigged my
He
own
loses.
machine. I can't even win. Like, why are you a gambling fanatic? You can't even win on your own broken machine. He put God mode. He did the Konami code on his slot machine, and he couldn't win.
He still can't win. He still can't
But
win.
Smokescreen's like, hey man, look, I can help you here. I can I
I
can
know
make
how
you
to
win.
cheat. I can
Yeah.
cheat. I can cheat this thing.
They
That's what he
this is
says.
great.
Basically, he
Yeah,
cheats.
man. So Smokescreen is like basically puts out to everyone that, oh yeah, I cheat at things. But and we're supposed to like him. We're supposed to the moral compass of this episode is so skewed.
Oh, we're gonna come back. We're gonna
Oh
come
yeah.
back to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna come
So
back to that.
he he basically he goes and has one of his robots like grab Smokescreen's gun and pull it away from him because he didn't deactivate it or whatever. So Bosch tells Smokescreen that he plans to sell the Autobots to get the energon he needs. But that's when he goes to the slot machine and tries to do these. And yeah, he basically Smokescreen has like this little cable in his arm with a little suction cup on it. It looks it's kind of ridiculous. Like it
It's a
almost
real
looks.
that's a real sound wave type device to have.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
sound wave would have something like this. See, what I want to know is that like so is that slot machine that he has there? Does it is it just like a dummy one where he just practices doing? He just loves to pull the arm,
You gotta
or
get
is it like
fanatic, man.
connected to like the internet of space gambling?
No wonder he's broke because he loses
That's what I'm
his
saying.
everything.
What are the logistics of this? And then, so because eventually we're gonna get to where he goes to a place just to gamble, and like, well, like if it was connected to like this
Yeah.
gambling network, then why did he have to go to this place? Why didn't he just gamble at
It's,
his
it's like
remotely?
it's like
Why didn't he
online
just work from
poker.
home?
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, they plan to go to Monica's and gamble.
like Monaco, but Monacus.
But Monica's, exactly.
This dude,
And
but this dude has a shrink ray though. He's got a shrink ray, man.
he,
Like ground shattering device he has here, and he's just like, "Well, my plan is I'm just going to shrink these dudes down
yeah,
and sell them into slavery
yeah,
for
100%.
money he's gonna trade them for chips so he can go gamble."
And smoke screens like that's a great idea, man. I'm gonna trade my buddies here for Energon so we can go gamble.
Dude.
That's like if you showed up with a girlfriend, wife, or whatever, and you're like, look, I'm gonna trade you as collateral to get some chips. So I'm gonna go gamble while you hang out here. Is that cool? Cool.
I mean, I see the logic here because he's like,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna go along with this guy's plan so that I can free my friends.
yeah.
At this
Can't
point, I get the
lose.
logic. It's gonna go off the rails here in a few
Yeah.
minutes, but I kind of get the logic here. So they go to Monica's,
Mhm.
the like I don't know what, like were they gonna go to like
It feels like they went off the strip in Las Vegas, and they're going to these places trying to like trade the Autobots for collateral. And there's like one guy's like, man, look, Bosch, I'm loaded with robots. Go see Lord Gaikini. He'll probably work with you.
first he said he tells him to go see Asimov.
Yeah,
Asimov.
yeah, exactly. Nice. The name usage in this is great, and we're gonna come to that when we get to our next destination. So yeah, we go to meet. Well, you go to what is it? The pit of it's a pit of Lord Gaikini's pit of destruction.
Destruction. So I need to know a little more about the economy here because they
Yeah, yeah.
go into this place and a dude comes up and like a cover charge from these guys of 5 energon chips each.
Hmm.
But they're watching these people battle these monsters, the
Yeah.
Animalians, which is a
Yeah.
very cool name. I like that name a lot. That's very 1967 science fiction. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, so these guys are battling to the death. Like that, like they
Yeah.
like if they survive for X amount of minutes, then they live and they also get 100 energon chips. Like like that's all you get. What you're gonna risk your life for $100 basically? Because like 5 energon chips to go watch a show is like that's a standard. That's like a a 1990s cover charge. I'd pay $5 to go watch a band or whatever.
Yeah. You have to
Go watch
wager.
Fugazi for $5.
You have
But
to
like,
wager 10 to make 100.
but I mean, like 100, that 100, you're gonna fight to the day. You're gonna like, well, I could go work for a day and make 50 energon chips, or I can fight a dude to the and might die. I'm probably gonna die because apparently nobody ever beat these guys for $100.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, there's that for sure. But yeah, they actually go to when they're going to see Lord Geikani. He is in Sheol, where the low life is low, and Sheol is apparently it was he's a Hebrew place. Apparently, it's basically the dregs,
mhm.
the Hebrew name. But yeah, they go to see Lord Geikani. Now, the funny thing, when they get hit up, and he's like, "Hey, no, we're here to do business." So Slizardo, the little fish guy
Lizardo,
thing,
this guy's awesome.
Slizardo.
But I'm also gonna say
Hmm.
that Lord Geikani, this dude rules. This dude may be one of the coolest characters in all of the Transformers. I like him better than I like most of the Autobots. And like, this guy's great.
So his name, which is kind of funny, what our interests are here. His name came from a mashup of two people. Um, David Marconi, who also wrote on G.I. Joe with
Mhm.
Michael David Halls, and Gary Gygax. They all hung out together.
Oh, because they would have been working on the D&D cartoon together at some
Oh,
point.
probably.
I
Oh,
would
but
assume they would have been running in the same circles. And
yeah.
Gary Gygax was a known wild man. He was a
But
known partier back then. So
yeah, so he got those two guys together and made Lord Geikini out of it. So there's that.
well, that's better than me thinking it sounded like insurance.
Oh yeah, actually, Marconi also wrote "Live Free or Die Hard." Hey, nice.
That movie's terrible. But yeah, I no this guy, he looks like a man. He looks almost like a Dragon Ball Z
He
guy.
does.
He's a giant fat dude, and he's awesome. He's so cool, dude. He has the coolest voice of like anything. I don't know who is like. I'm on record saying that I don't care about voice actors.
Yeah.
Whoever did this guy is awesome, and he needs like I need just a show of just this of this weird planet of gambling giant like
Mhm.
fish dudes and like little eye patched lizard sidekicks. Man, this is great.
Yeah,
This is
they bring he brings the Autobots in there. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna use the Autobots for collateral for some chips." And so he pulls out his shrink ring and like reverses it, and sounds like a slide whistle. It's like,
yep.
um, so yeah, so he says, "I will, yes, I will give you Energon chips at 500% interest
Payable within the
the
hour.
hour."
You get an hour. He gives them 50 energon chips.
Yeah, at
50, but the
500%
but the
interest.
stack of these things is there's got to be hundreds of chips in this stack because it's like just stack after stack after stack
Yeah.
of things. And so yeah, so Smokescreen pulls this deal where he's going to go gamble and he's going to use a little cheating thing and
Which again, moral compass is a little weird in
he's
this episode.
when he's up, he's up, he's doing well. He's cheating to get his friends back. And I'm like, okay, well this is a plan. And
Mm-mm. That's where it went wrong though.
that's
He got greedy.
he
He
got
got
greedy. He
greedy.
went all in, and then but then this little Adeptus Mechanicus dude from Warhammer 40,000
He
saw the
does.
little cable, and he's all like, "Oh no, never gonna get rid of that." Says doesn't say a word. These guys don't do anything else. All he does is he's like a caretaker of the gambling machines.
Yeah.
But see, and here's where we're going to get to the big moral quandary here, because this kind of thing happens all the time in these
Hmm.
kinds of shows, and it goes about the same way every time. So the good guy gets dragged down to having to deal with the bad guys,
Hmm.
and then they decide to agree to the bad guy's terms, which is exactly what's going on here. He's like, okay, this is a not necessarily a fair transaction, but it's a transaction that we've both agreed to. We've both agreed to this transaction. So, and then something goes wrong and they lose, and then they get mad and they vow revenge because they feel like the good guy feels like he's the one that got slighted here. I'm like,
Yeah.
brother, you agreed to the terms that the bad guy
Hmm.
laid out. So and in this case, it's even worse because Smokescreen was cheating in the first place.
Hmm.
He has done nothing morally right at all
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
dude used his friends' lives as collateral so he can go and cheat at video poker, and then the robot Nazgul catches him and loses all the money, and now he's mad because the other guy is holding him to the bargain.
Yeah. And
It's like if you and me are sitting around watching football, and you say to me, Ed, I bet you that the Saints lose this game. And he's like, I'll get up and go to the kitchen and get you a beer if the Saints miss this kick. And then magically somehow we decide we actually score a point. And then I'm like, hey, go get me a beer, Evan. And you're like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, well, you laid out the terms of the deal, though. Like, he's like, well,
yeah.
it wasn't a fair deal. I'm like, well, but you created the terms of the deal and you
Hmm.
agreed to the deal. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, they get mad. They go back to Lord Guy Kenny. And Lord Guy Kenny already has his print shop print up tickets for the Autobots versus the Animalians.
dude, it's been less than an hour. He already has tickets for Autobots versus Animalians. This is
He's got
great.
like
He's got
he's got a
logos made
printer
for
in
it
the
and everything.
back churning out tickets, man. This
Dude,
is
this
great.
guy's got like a graphic design team on staff making logos for everybody. This is great, dude. This is like good on production staff here. So
Yeah, but we pull away to see Astro Train land and Durgan Ramjet detrain. So the subtitles call him Astral Train again.
they
It's
did
like
call him
a
that.
yeah, Astral
But you know what I
Train.
love here though is that
What's that?
Astro Train complains that he's the space taxi here.
Yeah, he's like, I always fly you guys all over the place,
I'm
right out
like,
there, John, and you
yeah,
complain.
okay, cool. I'm glad somebody else figures out that he's just all he is a
Yeah,
transport
pretty
guy.
much. I mean, no, he'll come to question later. Yeah, he uses all his fuel reserves to get there. But dude, like Omega Supreme and Astro Train, there has to be a more fuel efficient method getting around. Because every time Omega Supreme goes somewhere, he runs out of
He's
fuel.
out of gas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he's out of gas. But
Dirge tells Ramjet that he has a feeling they're being monitored, and they are by the enigmatic
who's
DevCon.
this dude over here? He's reporting to somebody. Who's he reporting to? He's behind a rock and he's talking on a like a Dick Tracy wristwatch.
Well, maybe he's talking to his whoever his the bounty hunter who hired him.
Oh, we're gonna come to yeah. So
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so he says in this episode that he tells the Autobots that
Mhm.
he's a bounty hunter, or he tells Smokescreen he's a bounty hunter, and his job is to hunt down Decepticons. For who? For who?
And look, you're not supposed to tell who your source is.
Well, it's who you work for. It's like I tell you, you know who I work for?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
You're not a
hey,
bounty
what do you
hunter.
do? I'm like, oh, I do this, and you're like, well, for who? And I'm like, for this, and like it's but
But
especially
that's
for something like because there's somebody paying somebody to hunt down Decepticons, you would
Mhm.
think that the Autobots would probably want to know who it is. That's relevant to their interests. It's like
Yeah.
if you told me you were like, oh, hey, my job is a sculptor of miniature figures for games, and I'm like, that's my hobby. And I'm like, if I just went, oh, okay, cool. No, I'm like, who do you do it for? Show me your stuff. I need to see who you
Games
do this for.
Workshop. No one ever buys their stuff. What?
Um, but
Um,
see, but on top of that though, so Smokescreen's like, man, we could really use a guy like you on Earth hunting down Decepticons, and he's like, nah, man, I'm gonna leave Earth to you guys. It's just
mhm.
like, okay, dude, it's your job to hunt them down. You said it's your job to hunt them down, and now you don't want to go where they all are. It's like if you ask your friend and he's like, hey, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm working. I catch fish for a living. And then you say, oh, well, hey, man, I'm going out on my boat where the fish are in the Gulf. Do you want to come? And the guy goes, nah, I got to go drive on the interstate.
I like this little pier in Bayview Park.
Not
This
even
is
a
much
pier.
better.
He's going somewhere opposite of
Yeah.
where there's like no fit. There's like I'm just gonna go to this. I'm gonna go fish in my bathtub. Like, bro, it's a target rich environment. There's nothing but bounties for you there.
But
Or her.
well, maybe they don't all have bounties on them. Maybe Dirge and Ramjet pissed someone off like recently. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go find them. And like, oh, they're flying through this system. You should go find them right now.
I
And
mean, you would think if somebody has a bounty on Decepticons, probably has on all of them.
mhm.
The leader of the Decepticons. Like you tell me there's a bounty on Astro Train, but not on Megatron.
It's for because it's his battlefield efficiency. It's a bounty on him by ecologists.
Ralph Nader has a
Yeah, there
bounty
you
on him for
go. So
for fuel efficiency.
yeah, yeah. And
Just
so
high affinity speed.
he's talking to someone on his little two-way comm thing, and he's just like, I have followed the Decepticons to Monica's, and the subtitles say Monica's, so like he's going to Monica's house. That's where the Decepticons are going.
Like Friends. I like on
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah. So and the Smokescreen and Boss are trying to figure out a way to get the Autobots back, and they're like they're in the bar, and sometimes say we should probably check the action at Guy Can Age tonight. Like Lord Guy Can Age. They're gonna go watch their his friends die, pretty much.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. So DevCon he comes into the bar though. He saves the pirate fish guy Slizardo from being manhandled by some robot thugs, and that's when Smokescreen sees this Autobot symbol. He's like, "Hey, come on over to our table. You're one of us." He's like, "I haven't seen one of you guys since I left Cybertron during the wars millions of years ago." He's like, "Oh, well,
This was the Autobot equivalent of like when you're at a bar and you see a guy wearing the same metal t-shirt that you're wearing.
oh yeah, man. Like, did you go to
Like,
that
oh,
show?"
you like Dark Throne too? And then he comes and sits down and you guys are bros.
Yeah, you find out he's a really terrible person, and you awkwardly have to get away from him.
Yeah, that's real weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
I gotta
yeah,
say again that Lord Gaikini is the best though. He's that's literally my note is man, Lord Gaikini is the best. And I don't know what it was in reference to, but this dude's voice is just top notch. Just this guy is
he
great.
sounds like the Autobots are gonna fight the Animalians. He sounds like sloth. He sounds like gluttony. He sounds.
It's one of the most unique voices that I've ever heard. It's great. Oh yeah.
And yeah, DevCon is the same guy who I think voices Thundercracker because it's same voice, pretty much. But yeah, though, so the Astro Train, Dirge, and Ramjet are Shield, but subtitles say as to train Doge and Ramjet. But they end up at Lord Gaikini's office saying that Megatron is not pleased with him.
What influence does he have here?
I think he's trying to like you're supposed to be getting more money for us on Earth to have more green energy. I don't know.
How?
I don't
How does he
know.
communicate with him? How does he like? Does he space bridge out there?
Well, maybe he has like a little Dick Tracy walkie-talkie on a wrist also.
But how does he exert influence there?
I don't know,
And is he
man.
other Decepticons here? This is I don't know, man. I can't
But
really
it
justify
was
this.
it was enough that they flew out there to see what's going on with our income.
They stopped by on the way chasing Autobots. It wasn't like they were flying around going, "We need to stop by and see Lord Gaikini and shake him down for some money."
Well, maybe
It
it
was
was
like
like
they ran out of gas chasing the Autobots off of what's his name's planet, off of Aaron's planet.
maybe it was more like hey, we're going after the Autobots, and we should definitely do something about that. We lost them though back there. Let's stop by and see if Luke Geiken's got some energon for us because we're gonna run a
The
little low.
Lando system. The what? Um,
Yeah, Lando's not a system; he's a guy.
system is a man.
He's a man.
Uh,
Uh, so yeah, they they Geiken like injects the Autobots with unstable energon. He's like giving them like shots of some meth that's gonna last for 2 minutes.
so they can he's rigging the fight here.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
This was clever because no one thought they could last 2 minutes. So he's gonna make sure they last 2 minutes. He's gonna cover the
That's
bets,
it.
and then he's gonna cash in his bets. This is actually pretty clever, and it's a thing that I don't think that kids would understand what was going on in this. But I was like, oh, I know what he's doing here. He's
The
cooking the books.
house always wins.
House
Don't
always
ever bet
wins.
against the house.
Yep.
But yeah, the so their Optus is really he's kicking butt, man. He's tossing the Animalian around,
This
and
guy's
the betting.
awesome. This is the anime aliens look really cool. Like, do you remember those? I don't remember what they were called, but there were these toys in the 70s where like it was like a tablet, and you would put like these like pieces down that would have like parts of like a person or whatever. They made them for girls. They made them to put like dresses on and this
Oh
kind of
yeah, I
stuff.
know
And
what
then
you're
you put a
talking about.
piece of paper over it, and you do like a rubbing of
Yeah,
that or whatever. But they made them with like monsters also for like
I don't
you could put
remember
like a
those.
head and then like a body and then arms
Oh,
and
neat.
legs, and you could do a rubbing of like a monster. Those were really cool. I can't remember what they were called, but I love those things. We should look those up.
It kind of look like a. It kind of looks like a large version of Battle Beasts, like a Battle Beast or something.
Yeah, it's got that kind of
Yeah, it's like armor
generic.
on, like monster head and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
it's just like a generic looking monster,
yeah,
and sometimes you
but
like that. It
it was
was a
cool.
very
Yeah, yeah,
1970s like Marvel Comics looking monster. And
yeah. It kind of is, isn't it? So yeah, the smokescreen. Yeah, Alton starts getting manhandled, and Smokescreen's like, I can't watch this anymore. So they leave. Him and Bosch leave, and they're like, we got to think of some way to go around and get the Autobots back.
he just
So he's
floods
going to
the
go
place
back.
with
Well,
carbon
he's going to go
monoxide.
back on his deal, which it was an unfair deal. Yes, he was cheating to win the Energon. So now he's going to
Hmm.
go steal it back. So he's going to go back on the deal.
Hmm.
And I don't know. This is the moral compass is all over the place. But
And
yeah, he's
then
yeah,
this dude's a Decepticon.
he really could be.
Yeah, he's a
It's pretty
Decepticon.
pretty close. Yeah, the
Yeah, so he floods the whole stadium with the smoke screen stuff, and everyone's
he starts burning oil. Yeah, and he
yeah, he just started running oil, and this is for the first time because he's gonna do this again later on.
yeah. But
But
yeah, like people start going back and get their money back. Like they realize they can't watch the fight, so they're trying to get all their money back from
oh, they're just
Bosch
grabbing it too.
from Geiken rather. Yeah,
Yeah.
snagging it. And so yeah, the smokescreen splits and Dirge and Ramchat come across him, and they legitimately drop dummy bombs on him.
Yeah.
Never see that out of them. They're
Hmm.
dropping bombs. It was kind of cool seeing it because they're doing like sweeping maneuvers. Like they're flying a biplane in World War One, dropping bombs. Um,
Yeah.
and so Devcon shows up to save Smokescreen, and he hits Dirge and Ramjet, and the subtitles say, "Damn jet, we're hit." Um, so yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so
Astro Train gets in the
yeah,
fight here, and he says, "Let me introduce you to my friend, Mr. Ionic Displacer." Um,
nice.
so there's more than one meaning for ionic displacement. One of them is actually displacing an ion in a molecule or whatever that is. I don't really understand because everything that I read on that uh, was very confusing because I don't understand a whole lot about chemistry. When I say a whole lot, I mean at all.
Mhm.
But there's also that's also a phrase that you can use in poetry. And Shakespeare would often use ionic displacement in poetry. It's something about the meter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, atomic meter. I'm trying to think of the
it's something about like iambic pentameter or
pentameter.
something
Yeah.
along those lines. It's a thing where like words line up in a certain way. I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Gives it a flow. I don't think Astrotrain is a poet. Just gonna go on a limb there. So maybe he's doing chemistry with his gun. By the way, I took chemistry. I still don't know chemistry.
I don't think that ionic displacement really does much of anything. Is the thing. I think it just changes something into something else. It's not like a
So
destructive force. It's just kind of like changing
it
like
definitely didn't do anything here. So
no,
there's
it
that.
didn't. It didn't at all. But something that did do something was a smoke screen dropping another smoke screen here, and all the robots are coughing. They're all white, but they're coughing, but they all sound like Butthead. Like it sounded like 14 Buttheads laughing.
Oh yeah. So Cesaro says Lord Guy can the Decepticons are leaving the shield. That's when they come across him. Um, so yeah, sometimes called Guy Connie. Um, there's a there's a scene where like Bosch and Slizardo go after Gaiken, and Slizardo stays the same size. He's like, there's two different cells, and Bosch
Why?
gets huge related to things.
Slazardo is like sliding across the screen. It was very reminiscent of some stuff that happened in the last in the last episode of a really bad like man, we're like, dude, I don't have time to animate this, man. Just move it, just drag it across the
There's
background.
There's also a thing where Guy Kenny looks like his face is melting. Also, it's like going. "Bleh."
God, this it got real bad. It got this was like I don't know, man. Uh,
In Child's
like
Play, yeah.
it's at the end where they're just like, dude, like just finish it. I don't care. It's like the end of Evangelion when you're like, dude,
Man,
I don't have money for color. I don't, like whatever, man. Like
I will always apologize for that. Just like Jay who loves Spider-Man 3, I love the end of the Evangelion anime. So but after all is said and done, after all the stuff that happens, they're like, hey, the Smokescreen's like, hey, the casinos are right over there. Y'all want to go? And I'm expecting, Optimus Prime to be like, Smokescreen, I think you've had enough gambling for today. No, no. He's like, well,
let's
all right,
go.
let's go. Optimus is all for the gambling, man.
And then they're like, yeah, the Bosch is our friend. And I'm like, Bosch is a slaver that tried to sell you guys. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think he's really your friend.
Bosch is a slaver. Smokescreen cheats and trades his friends. Slizardo is the only. Yeah, Slizardo gets into DevCon. They fly away as partners. They're gonna go
So
solve things.
DefCon, okay, DefCon transforms into because he the whole time he hadn't transformed. He
Yeah,
transforms into like a spaceship or something like that, and
yeah,
that's pretty. It's a pretty cool looking spaceship.
yeah.
But so Slizardo decides, I guess he's gonna like buddy up with him. But dude, this is the buddy cop show that I need to see. I need to
Oh,
spin
no
off
joke.
I need to spin off of these two guys like
Mhm.
going around to like crazy planets like this, like some heavy metal like magazine style thing of them just like busting up like weirdo like like degenerate gamblers and stuff. That's the show I want to see.
No
Make
joke. I know. I
this.
know. The thing is, though, it would have been a great show, especially if they had the animation style from Heavy Metal. But yeah,
I just
that
want
didn't happen.
this. Just make them slide across the screen. This is great.
Give them the Dan and Den animation. I'll take that. Um, especially with Ulatek. Imagine them fighting against Ulatek and the priest. Oh, that'd be rad.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, so yeah, it ends like they're going gambling and everyone has a great time. I guess they don't realize the rest of Autobots are like, did y'all gamble us away?
Like, you think because they don't remember any of this stuff, so you'd
No
think that
one
it's going to come
says a
out where it's like
thing.
somebody's going to let it slip. It's going to slip at some point. They're going to be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, hey, smokescreen, when you gambled your friends away," and like they're like, Optimus Prime's going to be like, what now? You did a what?"
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
and that
So
was it. And that was the episode.
I like it. It's fun. I always love this episode.
Yeah, I mean, Kid Brain, to be honest, man, Kid Brain would probably be bored with the Gambler
Yeah.
because like it's a lot of like hijinks and stuff, and there's not a whole
Mhm.
lot, there's not really too much like action. I probably would have liked that Optimus Prime versus the Animalian fight, and I probably would have tried to recreate that with like the bad guy from Stretch Armstrong, who looked
Mhm.
a lot like that guy. That would have been a
Yeah.
cool fight. Uh, but then you get the tease of DEF CON. Who did they ever make a toy of this guy? Was he
They actually just did after
just did? Yeah,
40
so you couldn't buy
years.
like I couldn't have gone to the store in
No, no.
1986 and bought this guy. Like that's
No, they
yeah that
actually legitimately just finally made one after all this time, and this has been like a fan favorite character for years.
he's cool. He's like
He's in one
this
episode and people love him.
yeah he's awesome. Oh, he never comes back either.
No,
God.
yeah, him and
So
Cesaro are busting
yeah,
up gangs.
so Kid Brain, yeah, all that, and you get like the lizard guy was pretty cool,
Mhm.
and the Kid Brain to me definitely would not have appreciated Lord Gaikini in the least bit. I would have been like, this guy's stupid. I don't want this guy.
The
So
villain.
Kid Brain's gonna go, middle of the road. I'm gonna go 3 repurposed animes into music videos out of 5, but however, Adult Brain just ate this episode up.
Oh yeah,
Like Adult Brain, like I wish I had more to say about it. Like I feel like I rushed through some of the stuff in it, doing the coverage and notes and stuff, but it was like I had a blast with this one. Um, I mean, Lord Gaikini is like I cannot say enough how weird and cool that guy is, and
yeah.
like just like cancel Book of Boba Fett and just give me Book of Lord Gaikini and let me watch this. So Adult Brain's gonna go a strong 4 young adult nuclear Shaolin gophers out of 5. Docked only doc and we're docking the gambler only 1 point because no one knew when to hold him.
Oh
No
man.
one knew when to fold them, and no one knew when to walk away. All right. And see, I've been holding that in. I've been holding that in this entire episode. I wasn't gonna go
I'm
there,
shocked you actually
I've
held
got
up
to
that
go.
long. I was waiting for the Kenny Rogers reference somewhere. I knew it had to be in there somewhere. There we are.
Yeah, I look, you can't say the word the gambler
Hmm.
without referencing
Oh,
Kenny Rogers. I mean,
oh yeah,
it just
I'm
doesn't
not,
work.
criticizing you for that at all.
Hey, when you
You
were a kid, did you think that Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton were married when you were a
oh
kid? Because
yeah,
I
totally.
sure
Everyone
did.
did.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So,
Islands in the Stream.
yeah, and I think that I'm pretty well. And also, they were like for a long time, they were the only two country people that I knew. And one was a
Yeah,
man, one was a woman. And I'm like, well, obviously, they're the two that do country music, so they've got to be
they've
together.
got to be
So,
married. Yeah,
so
the yeah.
what did you think about
Oh,
what did you think about the Gambler?
Gambler's one of the favorite episodes of the series, honestly. Yeah, I love it. It's so much fun, and I always love seeing morally gray good guys. And he's not only morally gray,
He's
he's a
bad.
jerk.
He's a
He's
bad guy.
terrible.
So
He's a bad friend. He's a
he's a
bad
yeah, he's a real
yeah,
bad.
dude. If I have a friend who's just like, you know what, I need a little money, and I want to I'll take you to the pawn shop, and I'll get you back, I'm sure later, but as soon as I get a little cash, but right now. Yeah, I'll see you, man. You're not gonna know, but you'll be there for a little while. So yeah, man, I can't stand that. Bosch, Geikeney, a blend of Dave Marconi and Gary Gygax. How appropriate.
Yeah, what a weirdo thing.
Yeah, these people all ran around the same circles. It's kind of cool to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm all about this. I'm definitely. I have to give this thing like 4.5 100% of interest on my friends that I'm putting up in the pawn shop. Um, so yeah, man, I'm all for it. I'm glad to see it, and I'm all here for it. And so yeah, we're gonna get into a string of pretty good episodes coming up here. So really, I'm here for that. I think the next one's Search for Alpha Trion. I think
I believe you are correct. I mean, the
that
next
is
one in
not.
this, the next episode we're doing. Did we decide we're going to do Cold Slither next week? Because I think we should do Cold
We
Slither.
should probably do that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
should do a little subdivision on Cold Slither. The how bad it is. And it's wonderful.
Ew.
It's wonderful. Man, if it wasn't for the song in the end, I would be all about it. The G.I. Joe song's terrible.
I want to throw a disclaimer out there that I haven't watched an episode of GI Joe, and like I haven't watched any. It's probably been 15 years since I've watched any at all, and before that, it was probably 15 years before I.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, I haven't watched the whole. I
Mm.
have not revisited GI Joe like at all.
Some of those episodes are pretty bad. I do love how I was watching. They had like I think a Pluto TV channel or something had G.I. Joe playing. Oh no, it was a YouTube channel. Like I think it's Hasbro Pulse, their YouTube channel playing G.I.
Mm.
Joe all the time. And
Yeah.
G.I. Joe, it was I want to say it was the Pyramid of Darkness or something. And they find Shipwreck in a Cobra bar. He's a sailor in a Cobra bar, and they're dressed up like Cobra soldiers, and they trust
Mhm.
him, and they bring it back to their base.
Yeah.
It was a weird show, man. It was
There were
wacky.
some bizarre episodes. Yeah.
But I really dug the stories though. They're really good. Yeah, well, so
All
we'll
right.
see how that goes. Yeah, man, I'm all for it. Cold Slither next week. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So,
All right,
and
guys.
I got nothing else.
That sounds good. Yeah, so yeah, well, I'll update when I hear more about these interviews coming up. Like the only one I like, so I'm going to spill about is uh Michael Charles Hill here. So I can't wait for that to pan out. So until next time, y'all, take it easy. Have a great night and week and all that sort of thing. All right. Y'all take it easy. You want to give us a little.
Roll out.
There you go.
All
Finally.
right.
Geez,
All
man. How
right.
many times I got to prompt you?
More Than Mises Guys is performed by Evan Johns and Ed Strickland. Research is performed by Evan Johns, Ed Strickland, and with special research done by Boo of the AxelonUnderground.net. All used images in the videos are property of Sunbow, Hasbro, Paramount, or Marvel. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in every week with us. We appreciate it.